What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Tim Sports Talk. And today we're talking about the record prediction and roster breakdown for the Denver Broncos going into the 2021 season. And let's take a look at this roster. We normally start with the quarterback, but I'm going to actually come back to that at the end. Let's start with the rest of the team. Running backs, you got Melvin Gordon III, obviously still a talented running back, and they drafted second-round pick Javonte Williams, and so that should be a nice 1-2 punch. You still have Royce Freeman as your fourth running back as well. Over in the receiving group, I really like this group of receivers. They're getting Cortland Sutton back from injury last year. Jerry Jeudy, I think he was picked too high, but still a talented receiver. Nonetheless, he's got to clean up those drop passes, though. He had a lot of them. I think he led the league in dropped passes. No, he was like right behind Deontay Johnson. There was a ton of drop passes, like 10 of them. It's crazy. Then Tim Patrick had a great year. Big dude, big body guy, 6'4", 220. Seth Williams out of Auburn, I like a lot. That's a guy they drafted this year. So KJ Hamler didn't have a great year, but nonetheless, this is a really solid group of receivers. Noah Fant could be a top 10, potentially even a top 5 talent at the tight end position. Right now, I'd probably put him like right towards the bottom of the top 10. Then this offensive line that actually is an interesting offensive line. So they added right tackle Bobby Massey this offseason, who's a solid right tackle. Garrett Bowles was an absolute beast last year. Dalton Risner was actually pretty interesting. On 999 snaps, he had 0 sacks allowed and 0 penalties the entire year last year, which is awesome. He still was only rated like a 60-something PFF, so he must not be the best run blocker or something, because those two numbers right there are huge. You have no penalties all year, and you haven't given up a sack. Gotta love that as out of your left guard position. Lloyd Cushenberry was absolutely abysmal last year, which is why they drafted third-round pick Quinn Meinerz, actually out of Whitewater, University of Wisconsin Whitewater, a D3 school, but one of the best D3 schools in the nation. And Quinn Meinerz is a very interesting center, big boy, 6'3", 320, and long arms, nearly 34-inch arms, strong, so very athletic as well. So I would love to see if he can overtake that center spot. And this offensive line actually could turn out to be pretty decent going into this year, where last year they were pretty bad, if we're being honest. Now let's go ahead and move over to the defensive side of the ball, which you got to start with Von Miller. He's coming back off injury. He's older now. I believe he's like 32, 33, but he's still going to be one of the leaders of this defense. Bradley Chubb, a young guy on the other side. This should be a dynamic duo as long as they can stay healthy. Shelby Harris was a really nice defensive end. Draymond Jones, not bad for them last year. Young interior linebacker group, but they did draft Baron Browning out of Ohio State, so maybe he can get some good playing time in the middle of that linebacking group. Then these guys have one of the best secondaries in the league. They drafted Patrick Surtain in the top 10 this year. They have Kareem Jackson and Justin Simmons, and they drafted 2 safeties I really liked in this year's draft. Behind them now, Caden Stearns out of Texas, super athletic. He's got to trust himself a little bit more at free safety. It's funny they actually have him listed as strong safety. I would imagine he's more of a free safety. And then Jamar Johnson they have listed as a free safety. I would have put him as a strong safety. But nonetheless, Jamar Johnson is also another really interesting guy that they drafted. So I love this secondary group. Kyle Fuller they got from the Bears. Ronald Darby they got from Washington, who actually had a really solid year for Washington last year, high rated on PFF, and played well. He did get picked on a little bit, but even when he got picked on, he held his own. You know, he wasn't perfect last year by any means, but he played solid. And the trio between Fuller, Darby, and Patrick Surtain should be a really good one, especially behind the front 7 they have. Now, I said we'll come back to the quarterback position, and this is where it all hangs, because I actually think this team is super good all around. And now it's between Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater, the QB competition that all the Broncos fans are awaiting. And to me, this is not a competition. Drew Lock should be the starter of the 2021 season and be given the opportunity to start the entire season. I'm sorry, I know that Teddy Bridgewater is one of the more unlucky quarterbacks of all time. He's been up through the ringer through his entire career. I know it sucks. But Drew Lock, to me, is somebody that compares really well to a Baker Mayfield or a Josh Allen. two guys that struggled in the beginning of their careers. Drew Lock's only played 18 games. If you compare the stats between Drew Lock and Josh Allen in their first 18 games, Drew Lock's stats are actually better than Josh Allen. This guy has a cannon for an arm. He can throw it from anywhere. And he's also a guy that's not afraid to throw, which is huge. He's a gunslinger, and that's why he gets so many interceptions. He is not afraid to throw it. And it's easy. It's better to try to calm down a crazy person, right, that's just wanting to sling it, than it is to try to wake up a corpse like an Alex Smith, where it's like, all right, like, you got to throw it downfield, right? We need to win. Like, quit this freaking check down stuff. Let's go win. Drew Lock will step up and try to win the game for you, even if it turns out to not be the best move. But with experience, with being able to read more defenses, to be able to understand what the defense is trying to do to you, this guy is going to get better and better and better, and I think he is going to have a really nice season. He's got all the weapons. They fixed the offensive line a bit. I think Quinn Miernez is going to be the starter at center. Bobby Massey, much better tackle, good left side of the line. This team is dangerous, okay? Not saying Super Bowl, but dangerous. Honestly, I would say if you want a dark horse candidate, somebody that's nobody really talking about, maybe throw a little bit of money on a high return of give me the Broncos, okay? I really, really like the Broncos this year. So all of that being said, let's head into the schedule. All right, all of that talk of how great they are, I actually have them losing week 1 to the Giants. I'm not going to have them go undefeated, so I had to pick and choose where I was going to have their losses. So I'm going to have them lose to the Giants, but then I have them beating Jacksonville and the Jets, so that'll move them to 2-1. I have them losing to the Ravens. They got to travel Ravens have to travel to them, which could be scary, but at the same time, I don't think that I think they're going to be better coached, the Ravens, and I think the Ravens are going to pull out the win here. Then I have them beating the Steelers. I'm down on the Steelers this year. I have them beating the Raiders. I do have them splitting with the Raiders, though. So it's not going to be all sunshines and rainbows. So I have them splitting with the division rival, the Raiders. This is an interesting one, though. I have them upsetting the Browns. And I did this in the Browns prediction that I had the Broncos beating them. I'm going to keep it in the Broncos prediction as well. And I have them coming up with an upset. I really like the Browns this year. I have the Browns going 13-4, but I think that the Broncos are going to find a way to upset them in Cleveland and keep it on going. I'm a Washington fan. I have us losing to this Denver team. I think the Denver team is really, really solid all around, and I've already told you about the Drew Lock situation, so I have us losing to the Broncos. Then I have them losing to Dallas. I think that Dak Prescott will have enough to beat them, and it'll be an interesting game. I have them beating the Eagles. I'm not a fan of the Eagles this year. I have them splitting with the Chargers. I have them splitting with the Chiefs, so splitting with everybody in the division. Then I have them beating the Lions and the Bengals, and that would put them at an 11-6 record above the Chargers. I know a lot of people higher on the Chargers, and I'm high on the Chargers. I like the Chargers. I had them at 10-7, but I like the Broncos just a little bit more. And here come the Denver Broncos to an 11-6 record, surprising everybody. And that is my prediction. You guys let me know how crazy I am in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also in the description below is a Discord link. Hop on our Discord and come talk some football. And last but not least, there are donation links in the description below. If you feel so kind, you could donate to the channel. And until next time. See ya!